Here we are in Nerca. It's about an hour's drive from Malaga on the south coast of Spain. We're approximately 2 kilometers from the beach, which is over there, and that's Nerca. Attempting our first ride today, which is around 65k, but it has 1500 meters of ascent. There's plenty of climbing here. We are on the edge of the Sierra Nevada National Park, and we'll probably do a ride there later in the week. Yes, so we're doing a 65-kilometer ride, basically from Nerca up to Frigiliana, which is a very scenic Andalusian village with Moorish architecture. So we'll take a look at that. And then on up into the mountains, into Competa, which I think is 650 meters high, and then back down to Torrox, and along the Torrox coast back to Nerca. So we'll see how we go. I'll post a link to the route below. This is Frigiliana. Very, very pretty. Quite difficult climb getting up here, as you can see. Kind of a cobbled climb. So we're just gonna have a walk around the town now. Quite hazy today and really humid. I think we have 85% humidity. So that's the view towards the coast where we came from. Beautiful villages, windy roads, but lots of climbing. That's where we're going. Climb out of Torrox onto Competa. are at Competa. It was around a, I'd say 10k climb from Torrox. Views are absolutely stunning, but still pretty hazy. Try and find somewhere for lunch and then head on back. Mostly downhill on the way back. Back in Nurka, 65k, something like that. Absolutely beautiful ride. Not too warm once you get into the mountains. Yeah, it's great. So here we are, another lovely morning in Nurka. Just about to set off on a, I think it's about 100k ride with approximately 2,000 meters of climbing. We're going to go east along the coast for about 30 kilometers, then head inland up into the mountains. I think it's around 20k climb. Come back along the mountains and then descend back to the coast and back to Nurka. I think the temperature's 27 degrees. It has been pretty humid, and I guess that'll continue today. So I have to make sure we keep the water up. So hopefully it'll be a great ride. Turned away from the coast now, heading up into the mountains, which you can probably see in the distance there. So I think he's climbing now for around 20k. surface on a mountain road. Incredible, really. Very unusual. Certainly wouldn't find this in the UK. We headed up there somewhere. Hey! Sting is definitely in the tail with this climb. We are getting near the top, but it's well over 20%, approaching 30% in sections, I think. So we've resorted to walking, which is probably sensible. Here we are having our lunch in Tejeda. It's the first village we've come to at the top of the climb, and we really needed to stop because that climb was extremely tough. Many sections, extended sections, well over 20%. So in the red quite a lot, and we were really ready to stop. So our legs are pretty shot now, but hopefully riding along the ridge towards Competto will be relatively easy, and then a descent back to home.
Yes, well, you've just had the climb described to you. I wasn't actually in the red because I was walking. That was the best way to tackle that climb, to be honest with you. Even then it was quite difficult, but at least a nice cup of coffee and a nice cheese roll to sustain us now. I think. Wherever it is, it's quite spectacular anyway.
I was going to say, it's huge, isn't it? Yeah. Just absolutely spectacular here. Severe drops off the road, so you wouldn't want an accident, I guess, but the rock formations are just beautiful. Further steps think this is Cañas de Salvaida. And then the next village will be Competa, where we'll stop for a coffee and a cake. Couple of climbs and then it should be descent and flat home. Back at Torrox. Now descend down to Costa Torrox and along the coast back to Nurk. summary, a tough ride, some serious climbing, but the scenery is, hopefully you will have seen on the camera, is really spectacular. Should probably get Hillary's views on the ride. Your views on the ride?
Well, the bits I walked it were quite nice. And the downhill bits were quite nice. There were some really too steep bits though. Glad it's over. Nice cup of tea and a few biscuits.
The ride today, we're going east along the coast from Nurka. Around 5k perhaps, where there's a local cycle hill climb. I'm going to watch that, then perhaps cycle up into the mountains for a little way, come back down to the coast and along the coast back. Beautiful morning again. This is the start of the hill climb course. The event is advertised on this poster here. Starting at 10 o'clock, it's now about 9 I think, and the start line is there. Looks like 10 kilometers from this point. Fairly gentle so far, but it gets much steeper, and I believe it turns into a gravel track at the top. A tough old climb. 8 kilometre to go. Getting a bit more steep now. Series of hairpins following the river valley up. Kilometers to go. Beautiful river gorge. Came up from there. I guess we're going over there somewhere. we came from. So 5 kilometres to go, halfway. This bit is not too bad. I suspect that it's going to get much worse shortly. Hairpins we've come up to get here. 2 kilometres left. Hillary. Last kilometre. Up there, around this bush where the tent is and the cars. Hillary crossing the finish line.
It was easier than the one we did the day before yesterday. What a view!
It's an amazing view. 360 degrees really. That looks like the record time up here, so 29 minutes 30 seconds I guess, king of the mountains, 20 kilometres an hour. Minutes since the start, so we should be seeing them somewhere on the climb shortly, the first one at least.
Que tiene récord. Ten cuidado, no te pongas aquí, ponte o en la cuneta o...
decimal.
369, Oscar Caballero.
¿Es el mismo del año pasado? No, ese es Marco Robles. Dame, tío.
Second one.
Se acerca muy seguido el segundo y el tercer clasificado.
Este es el que ganó el año pasado. Vamos, vamos.
340 Francisco Robles Rodríguez.
Venga.
222 José Manuel Ortega Vera.
Qué bien, máquina, qué bien.
10 Félix Aranda Ruiz.
Bien, Félix, bien. Vamos, venga.
384 Fernando Romero Torres.
Bien, Fernando, bien, mozo, bien.
Jesús Guillermo Cedillo, 300.
Bien, Mike, bien.
263 José Luis Casillas, 38 José Luis Mesa Ortega.
Coming up to 50 minutes, that's the second lady.
Muy raro, mi hermano lo casi pegado a mí.
200.
¡Había carrera!
Slightly different ride today. We've decided to go exploring the Sierra Nevada National Park. This is a different scale of mountain. They go up to 3,500 meters. We're starting at a village called Orgiva, driven here, and we're riding up to a village called Trevelez, which is in the national park. It's about a 40k ride, 2,000 meters of ascent, so pretty much right uphill for 40k, right downhill for 40k. So we'll see how we go. Unfortunately, we've ended up on a little bit of a track, so I had to do a bit of walking, but the scenery again is just absolutely spectacular. Still relatively cool, it's quite early in the morning. Hopefully we'll find some tarmac a little further on up this track and then we can get back on. Back on tarmac again now, approaching a little bit of a main road. That's where we came from. Here's the main road ahead. just entering Pitras. Yes, find somewhere to have lunch here, I think, and then head on back. I don't think we're going to Travelers because we wasted quite a lot of time on the track where we had to walk. But it's absolutely beautiful, so we have some lunch here, then head on back.
and the flags, which just make it nice and shady for sitting at the cafe. So we climbed up to a village, I think you describe it, called Pitras. The scenery was fantastic, and it was about 1,500 meters of climbing. The track we went on to get up there wasn't the best and turned into a dirt road, but coming back obviously we stuck to the main road, and that didn't take very long at all. But this is a really pretty town, and as you're dropping down from above, the church, which I think you can just about see there, is really spectacular. So there we are, we've just got to go back and find the car and then drive back to Nurka.
Today we attempt the Goats Path. This is an historic path which goes from Almunica on the coast towards Granada city, and was used by mule trains to transport fish to Granada city from the coast. They did it over 2 days, travelling largely at night to avoid the heat of the day. This is supposed to be one of the most scenic climbs in the area. We travel between the Sierra Tejeda and Sierra Nevada national parks. It's around 40k in length and 1,300-1,400 meters of ascent. So we'll see how we go. Another lovely morning. This is Almunica, the start. This is Jeddah. Just approaching, you see kind of the foothills to the mountains really. So far it's been straightforward, but I guess the climbing's up ahead somewhere. Beautiful scenery still. Just climbing out of Jeddah. This coming into Otivar, which is the next village on the climb. Pretty steady climbing now. Yeah, looks relatively small place. Thankfully we're still in shade. Otivar, and I think we're climbing up there. There's Hillary.
Sweaty.
Seems to be the most popular climb we've done so far with cyclists. Lots of them going up here. Well, lots, relatively speaking. Lady ahead. She is. Beautiful. That's where we've come from. There. And going on up here. Beginning to heat up quite a bit now. A few French people on the climb. The lady I just met was French. Here's Hillary. Various sky riders written on the names written on the road. Litovsky, Sergio now. I saw Froome and Thomas earlier, so maybe that the Vuelta goes up here every other year or something. This path is particularly beautiful. The colours of the rocks are just stunning. Reds, greys, blues. Beautiful. It's like we're 19k, close to 20k into it now. So, over halfway. Is that right? You back down to the coast. And we're headed up there. Pretty much above the tree line now. I think there's too much more climbing to go. There's not many more mountains above us. The road heads off around in that direction.
Here's the panoramic view of where we are at the moment. Little tracks and houses dotted around, and then slightly larger towns that you can't even see when you're below. That one down there may be where we've come from, not quite sure. And then there's the sea in the distance. A lovely breeze, and luckily not too hot at the moment. Absolutely incredible.
.24k in there, so maybe 15k, 16k to go. Still climbing a bit actually. A tribute to Adam and Simon Yates from Bury Clarion Cycle Club. Adam and Simon Yates, you can. Hopefully you can see that. So I need to check out if this climb was used on this year's Vuelta. So they both rode it this year. Just I invite you to have a coffee and a biscuit by a French cycling tour, and the van that is accompanying them, and they invited us for coffee, which is very welcome. We're just off again now. We've done going up to 30k. It's really pretty high. First tunnel on this route. Not too long. This seems to be pretty much top of the climb here anyway. Maybe a bit of descent and then more climbing to come. So we're leaving the Principality of Octavia. Thank you for your visit. Octiva, sorry. Here's Hillary. completed the climb and we're now on what looks like a fairly fertile plain. Lots of trees actually. We've done about 35k. Yeah. We're going to turn off this road across towards a lake. Hopefully find a village on the way and have some lunch and head on back. Turning to Almunica on the homeward leg, short way across the plain, then descent into Almunica for about 35k. We're back at Almunica to collect the car. I think I can probably say that's the toughest climb I've ever done, the longest anyway. The gradient wasn't that bad, but it just went on for a long time. There were some little respites. The gradient wasn't that steep, but if you're not used to doing lengths, then you know, your legs tell you. Luckily, obviously the higher we got, the cooler it became, and it was a little cloudy, so that was a relief actually. It was quite a nice breeze, nice cafe at the top. So all in all about 100k, quite exhausting, but so well worth it. The scenery was spectacular. So now I think you know what's coming: a nice cup of tea and some biscuits probably, or cake, and or sandwich definitely. And that was known as the Goat's Path. I think Paul described why at the start, and all I can say, those goats must have been damn fit. Rest day tomorrow. The ride today, we're heading east from Nurka along the coast road, turning off into the mountains, continuing east, then finally descending back down to the coast road and back home. Total distance around 100k and 2,500 meters of ascent. Another beautiful day. Okay. A bit cooler. We had a thunderstorm last night. It seems to have freshened things up a little bit, so hopefully that continues through the rest of the day. on the coast, fairly gentle at the moment, towards a village called Tejeda. We stopped there for a coffee and then turned off east along the mountains. I've just left Tejeda, had a bit of breakfast there, now heading up towards Trava. Just turned off the main road. Top of this particular climb, I think it carries on over there. That's the view back down to the coast, quite misty today. These side roads and drives just go straight up, well over 30%, and there's an old chap walking up there with his stick. It's amazing how these older people cope in these mountainous regions. Approaching the next town, and there seems to be a hill fort on the top of it.
Well, just got back from our ride today, about 82k, a bit less climbing than we'd planned, because I think the first part of the route that we were going to do we decided was going to be way too hilly. So we went up to Tejeda and then got up to Bar. It was quite a climb up to there, then dropped down to Malvizar and then back along the coast, which was quite pretty. And the clouds getting a little bit black up there again, just like it did yesterday. So if we're going to have a thunderstorm, at least we got back before it started. Feeling quite tired today. I think probably a cumulative effect of all the hills that we've done, but quite a nice route really. If you don't want to do too much climbing, it was just about the right amount. Well, just starting out for our last ride of the holiday. Another beautiful morning. I'll just pan round so you can see. Can't really see the mountains yet, but at the moment no clouds at all. Oh, I can just see the mountains up there actually. Beautiful. We're heading along the coast to Torrox Costa. Then we'll climb into Torrox itself, then go up to Competa, and from there we've got a few different routes back to the coast. But it's going to involve a little bit of climbing to get up to Competa as ever. But as I say, our last ride, so we need to make the most of the day. stopped in a very pretty town, Fiesta Albeda, and then passed through Arches, which was even prettier, and now we're heading on the road down to Colombera, I think it's called, and following on from that it'll be Arenas and then the sea. So you can just see possibly the sea in the distance there, maybe not, but this is very pretty, and gradients are quite doable because obviously you've had to climb up to get up to this level, so you're sort of on a bit of a plateau, little rise and fall, but not too bad, and the scenery is just beautiful. Perfect day today, no clouds at all, light breeze getting up now, which is keeping us a little bit cooler thankfully. I guess that's our next village up there, which might be Colombera. We'll have to see.
This is, what's the name of this village? Arenas. Hot now. Just back from our ride up to Competa and across to Arenas and down to the coast. 80k in total. Felt a bit longer than that, but probably one of the nicest routes, because although you've got quite a bit of climbing to start with, once you were up on that plateau you were just going along at the same level pretty much, and such pretty countryside and lovely villages. The last bit unfortunately is along the coast road, which is not very pleasant, but that's really the only way to do it. So yeah, a nice one to finish with, and as I say, probably one of my favourite routes.